Hello everybody, welcome to section 3.5. Here we're going to write equations as functions. Now functions, like we talked about before, can be written as equations where we have an equal sign. These equations can be generated or will generate ordered pairs by taking your input that is a result of a certain output. The graph of the equation is a set of all of its ordered pairs, which often form a line or a curve. So let's talk more about these functions, inputs, and outputs. So like we said, we have an input. That input is x, and we're putting that into our function, right? When we have our function or our equation, we do our math. That's the machine working. And then it will spit out a number. That number is our output. The number that we plug in here for x is our independent variable. And the number that we spit out is going to be our dependent variable. All right, so let's try some examples of how we can graph. Now, one way that is beautiful and will always work, there's no tricks, no gimmicks, is what we call this t-table. Why is it called a t-table? Because you can make it by drawing a t. Okay, so this is our independent variable, or that input. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to input that into our function. So I'm going to plug that in for x, so I have -5 plus 4. -5 plus 4 is -1. That's my output, or my y value. I'm going to do the same thing with -4. So I've got -4 plus 4. That's equal to 0. I'm going to have -2 plus 4. That's going to be equal to 2. And finally, I'm going to have 0 plus 4, which is just equal to 4. Now, like we had talked about before, these are ordered pairs. All we have to do is graph them. So this first one is -5, -1. So it means I'm going over 5 and down 1. -4, 0, meaning going over 4 and putting it on that axis. Going over 2 and up 2. And the last one is 0, 4. So I'm not going left or right anything, and I'm just going up 4. Now that I've got all of my points plotted, I'm going to draw a line. This is when it becomes really useful to have some sort of straight edge like a ruler or a note card, or maybe even your cell phone works great. And that's all we have to do. So let's try another one here. This one involves fractions. Great time to whip out that calculator and just plug these in. So here I'm going to have 3 over 4 times that first input of -4 minus 2. When I plug that into my calculator, I'm going to get -5. I'm going to do the same thing with 0. 3 over 4 times 0 minus 2. That's just -2. I'm running out of room here, so I'm going to just type the rest of these in. When I plug in 4 again in for x, I will get a 1. And when I plug 8 in for x, I will get a 4. Here we have ordered pairs. Let's go ahead and graph these. So this first one is -4, -5. So I'm going over 4 and down 5. 0, -2. So starting here at 0 and going down 2. 4, 1 means I'm going over 4 and up 1. And 8, 4 is not on the graph, so we can't graph that, but we're just going to go with these ones. So I'm just going to draw a straight line. Oh, that one wasn't too good. Let's try that again. There we go. That's better. Beautiful. All right, I have already done 3 and 4 for you. Exact same process. So go ahead and pause the video. See if you can try those on your own. And then restart the video when you're able to see if you got those correct. All right, let's try 5 together. So once again, here's a tricky one because you see there's a negative out here. So let's see how we do that. So we have a negative, and then I've got -3 plus 1. 2 negatives make a positive, so I'm going to have +3 plus 1, which is just 4. Okay, we're going to do another one. So this time I've got, once again, a negative and a negative 1 plus 1. That becomes a positive 1 plus 1, which will get me to be 2. Negative 0 is just 0, so 0 plus 1 is 1. And then negative 4 plus 1, which is negative 3. I'm going to go ahead and graph these. So I'm going to start here with negative 3 4, so that means I'm going over 3 and up 4. Negative 1 2 means I'm going over 1 and up 2. 0 1 means that I'm not going over anything but up 1. 4 negative 3 means I'm counting over 4 and down 3. All right, let's go ahead and graph this line here. Beautiful. All right. Once again, make sure you're using that straight edge if possible. 6, again, pause the video, see if you can get the same answer I did. If you've got any questions on these pre-done ones for you, please let me know and we can go over them together. All right, now we're going to talk about functions and domain and range. Now, if you remember from our last section, domain represents our x values. So in our t-chart, these are just going to be our x values that we are inputting, and then we have to put those in and find our output or our y values. So I'm going to go ahead and make myself a t-chart here with x's and y's. Okay, and I'm going to pre-load in those domains. So I've got 4, 6, and 8. All right, so when I plug 4 in, so I'm going to have 4 minus 5. 4 minus 5 is negative 1. Okay, we're going to do the next one. 6 minus 5. 6 minus 5 is 1. Last one is 8 minus 5. 8 minus 5 is 3. They want us to find our range. Range is just our y values. So we're going to write it as range with our little squiggles. Negative 1, 1, and 3. Beautiful. All right, let's try this next one. Once again, our domain, that's our x value, so I'm going to make my little t-chart here with x's on one side, y's on the other. I'm going to put the x's into my x column. So I've got negative 1, 0, 1, and 4. I'm going to plug those in. So I've got 3 times negative 1 plus 1. 3 times negative 1 plus 1 will give us negative 2. Okay, now I'm going to plug in 0. 3 times 0 plus 1, that's just 1. Now we're going to plug in 1, so 3 times 1 plus 1, that gives me 4. 3 times 4 plus 1 gives me 13. And guys, don't feel bad if you have to use a calculator on any of these. No worries. I'd rather you get them correct and not have to struggle with that side math. All right, again, talking our range. Our range is just our y value inputs, or outputs, I should say. So we've got negative 2, 1, 4, and 13. Pause the video here. See if you can do 10. I'm going to jump in here and do 9 real quick, I guess. So again, making that t-chart. Here's our x's and our y's. X's, I'm going to put my domain, which is negative 2, 3, and 5. I'm just going to plug those in. So 5 minus negative 2, that turns into a plus sign. So 4 plus 2 is 6. Next one we're going to do is 4 minus 3. 4 minus 3 is 1. And last one is 4 minus 5. 4 minus 5 is negative 1. I'm just going to write my range right here. That would be 6, 1, and negative 1. Perfect. So again, pause the video, see if you can do 10, 11, 12, and I'll even zoom out a little bit more so you can get 13 in there. All right, and we're going to finish this video off with number 14. All right, fractions, yes. So once again, we have our x's and our y's. And for our domain, this time we're going to have -8, -4, and 12. So 1/4 times -8 minus 5. Please, again, do not hesitate to plug these in your calculator. No big deal, no shame. We get -7. We're going to do the same thing with -4. 1/4 times -4 minus 5. That should get you to -6. Last one here, 1/4 times 12 minus 5. That gets us to -2. So once again, we're going to finish off with our range, which is just our x values, -7, 6, and -2. All right, if you've gotten any questions that you've come across as you've worked through this video, please let me know and we can set up a Zoom. Please proceed to whatever is listed above.